Perfect, perfect, perfect. What's up, everyone? What's up? For real. It was a bitch to set this up, but we got it. What's up, Santos? Alright, it's about 7 o'clock. Okay, so let's get this thing going. 1 second. Alright, so the first song we're gonna do that I picked was Fright Night. As you guys know, it's probably one of the more popular songs on my SoundCloud and Spotify, actually. Came out, I think, a year and a half ago, something like that. Song I really love. A lot of people have been playing it out too. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. I mean, as you heard right now, before I started, I was playing it. Yeah. Let me know what type of stuff you guys want me to like really get into, and if you have any questions, you know, I'll answer them while I'm working and showing you guys what I got going on. Oh yeah, you saw the interview at Dubstep FBA. Yeah, love them. That was a really good interview. Okay, so I don't know where to start. I've never really done anything like this before, but yeah. We have, I mean, it's kick, you know. I'm not sure what this kick is actually from Sultan, from the sample pack, actually. Don't really have a prefer kick or anything. I don't use like 1 or 2 kicks, honestly. It's like this one, and like two other ones that I mainly use for like each of my songs. But yeah, I mean, nothing special, just from the sample pack. I have actually I don't need this filter because that was supposed to be for the build up that I was doing. How do you start your drums for your drop? Can you explain how to add extra litness to a track? Okay, so how do you start your drums for a drop? Usually I start with a kick, you know, like I said right here. This is the kick that I have. I have a saturator going on, compressor. I turned off the OTT because it was too much. I wanted to see how it was like, and then I have this CLA plugin. This is really dope. I like to use it because even if there's like depending on the kick, if it's a little too heavy, you can always like lighten it up and have less of the low end on it through the peak reduction, and then you can bring up the volume with the gain. So that's what I did with that. Nothing crazy. Honestly, just Ableton stuff, stock-in plugins. That's mainly the shit that I use. You know, you don't need all these fancy plugins to make crazy stuff or make things sound good. I mean, the Ableton stock shit's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we have my snares right here, and we can do this. We can mute these snares, kick, and the drums. Make sure. Oh, sorry guys. I mean, hopefully that helps. Sorry about that. I mean, CLA doesn't do that much on it. It's just besides that, like, you can bring up the gain, you can take off some of the low end on it if it's too much, or you can bring it up. It's basically, it's kind of all. What else? Yeah, so these are just this, my percussion right here. Nothing crazy, honestly. The snares. I have about uh, 4 different snares actually going on. And then just like this snare suite that I have that I'll play it, kind of just sounded cool, I guess. um, oh, okay, gotcha. Um, but yeah, so what? This is just a cashmere um snare, nothing crazy. The other one is um the other one is this other one from a sample pack. I don't know where EOX. Trappy snare. Got like 2 trappy snares right here, looped over them, and then this Ricky Sand kick. I mean snare, sorry. And then this other one. Okay, so this one's I pitched it down. Transpose. Just have it going down to -6. Nothing crazy. So altogether, what the kick sounds like. To use a certain sample pack for your horror sound effects. Yeah, I have a couple that I've downloaded. I'll get into that when in a bit. Give me 1 second. Pitch drop. Slow pitch drop automation. No, I didn't. But yeah, so that's for the snares. As for the percussion and stuff, it's just hat, trappy hat, and then a cashmere trap loop. Honestly, nothing crazy. I don't have anything going on either for the snares. Like no no effects or anything. I just left it as it is. Usually with these like samples and stuff, they're already mixed down and all that stuff. So there's no point. This is percussion. Let me show you what I have right here. It's just this for the percussion. I have a compressor and saturator, and an EQ, cutting off some of the high frequency right there, and then just side chaining it to the kick. Can you go over the sustain basses? Yeah, I'll get into that right now. I'm just starting with the drums real quick. Do you ever worry about this transients of your snare layers stacking on top of each other and be fading the transients of some layers? Sometimes I do, but I don't really have a problem with that most of the time. But I mean, it's just always about picking the right snare. Like us producers will take like an hour just to find the right snares. Like just to find 4 of these took me a while. Like 4 that I actually like that went perfect with each other.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
And what else? Yeah. That's how I add a little extra oomph. What else? Okay, so that's the percussion stuff. I have some vocal stuff in here. Let's see what I have on here. I have a vocal chain going on, saturator, another compressor, an OTT, EQ, and side chaining it apparently. Let me see. This one is going to the kick, and the other one's going to the snares. Yeah, so whenever the kick and snares are playing, the side chain is going on for the vocals, just to bring it down just a bit. I have this. This one's from a horror, like a horror pack, sample pack. Just a girl screaming. I usually use this one a lot for my songs. This little laugh thingy. Then this other vocal, bring it back, and then this. I'm just saying, what, I have this vocal chain going on too for this one, the saturator EQ, the mention expander, and a compressor and a limiter. What else? This one has a ping, but I don't think it's even working. The ping pong, I don't think it's even doing anything. I don't know why I have that on there. That's what I'm doing for that. Little fills right here, actually. Little drum fill. I don't really have much on it besides saturator, compressor. That's it. EQ on this sword. Just another drum fill, nothing crazy. But I kind of use this. I use the same ones throughout the whole song. But for the drop synths, let's get into here. So this one, this little metallic thing on the build, I think this was like a sample that I messed around with. I can't remember what all the processing I did before it, but this is what I was left with. 'Cause I know I did some more processing to it, but I forgot what. But this is what I have right now. I'm using a heavy guitar tube. It's just an Ableton stock thing, nothing crazy. This is what it sounds like without it. So when I turn it on, it kind of gives it like a cool little effect, I like it a lot. I think it sounds fucking dope. Do you make sure the drum fills are in key, or does it matter? Nah, most of the time it doesn't really matter. I mean, you just gotta have an ear for it. Like if it doesn't sound right, then just don't use it. I just kind of I kind of play it over and like picture like, okay, does this sound right? It takes me a couple minutes, but kind of really, I don't really make sure they're in the same key or anything. Just Renaissance basses are works. Dope to see what's up with the sound design. Yep. So yeah, without it, it's dope. Then I just EQ'd some of the low and off. Sidechaining it. I have this sidechained to the Ghost kick, which I have right here in the drums. I have this Ghost kick right here. Just going off the build, auto filter, kind of filtering it out, and then the bass clef washout. Yeah, fucking got the reverb going on, filtering it out. Drop comes. So for the first hit, what's a great tip on layering lots of snares like you do? I don't really know. I mean, just make sure it just sounds right, like you just want to listen to it over again and make sure that they actually fit the song, because you could add any snare, but I think snares and kicks go a long way for songs, just gotta make sure it really fits the song and the whole vibe of what you're going for. Okay, so you got this one shot right here. I think this is from a sample pack. I forgot which one. I have, how do you sort out your patterns for your drop bases? I don't know. To be honest with you, half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. I kind of just pick out the right sounds that I like, mess with them in Serum, go through sample packs, and I always try to make sure if I use a sample pack from a sound, I make sure I change it up a little bit so it doesn't sound the same. Because, I mean, anyone could get anything from a sample pack and add it into a song, but how many other people are doing that, So I try to make sure if I use a sample, most of the time, sometimes I'll leave it the same, but most of the time I try and change it. And, make sure I get the right ones, put them in a group, and, I have everything organized right here. I have my kick, my snares, my drums, percussion, vocals, fills, drops, sounds, my my synths that are for the breakdown, and my basses, my FX, and I have another FX that's for more stuff with like low end, like sub drops and shit. But yeah, so this one I think I messed with it before, but I just froze it and consolidated. But yeah, I just have this on EQ, side chaining to the kick. And then after that, I use these sounds from the Ricky Sound sample pack. Got this one going on. I got an EQ, grain delay, and saturator, compressor, OTT. I guess I'm using a guitar tube somewhere on it throughout the song, and Valhalla. This is what I have going on right here. I got the depth all the way at 100%, the high cut all the way up here, decay, mix, 3.2, not too much, don't want to use a lot of it. And just a fucking sidechain to the kick, nothing special, But what really makes this sound is the grain delay. I actually, without it, actually kind of sounds the same. I'm not sure why I have that on there. I think it has like a little slight difference. You can kind of hear it. But yeah, and then I have this one too. There's kind of like the first little one-shot hits that come in. And then for this is like a main sound that I use for a lot of my like wood stuff, It's in Serum. It's got an EQ, bringing up the high right here. Cutting off the low end, got this stuff, this distro thing. I forgot who gave me this, but it really works if you want to like bring out those sounds and make them really more in your face. This thing works wonders. You don't want to use it a lot. I try not to use it a lot, because it can overpower the mix and get really muddy. So you only want to use it for certain sounds. But yeah, let's see what's on here. There's a bunch of shit, but I actually turned it off because it was actually getting really muddy. So I kept the multi-band dynamics, a wave shaper, a drive. I don't even know. I kind of just went through it and I was like, okay, this is really muddy, but I wanted to use it to really get that sound in your voice and in your face. So I started taking off some things and seeing what sounded good. I was kind of just like hearing it out. Kind of just like I don't know. Like, okay, if it sounds like shit, I'm gonna turn it off. If it sounds good like this, I'll leave it on. Kind of just going by ear, honestly. Yeah. This one is 1 second. Soon open. There we go. I hear it's not as different. Yeah, okay, you heard it. Do you have any tips for intros to songs? I mean, not really. Just I kind of suck at intros. I feel like when I start a song, I always start with the drop instead of the intro, and then whenever I come up with the drop, I get inspired to go with the right vibe with it. So that's how I kind of come up with the intros. So I guess that's a tip. Start off with the drop. Yeah, here. So this is actually this was a preset, but I messed with it myself, and I messed around with things. Not sure exactly what I did because it was a while ago, but I made sure it sounded very different. But this is what it sounds without it. Hold on one second. This is what it sounds. That's what it sounds without it. Got this harmonic thing going on. Actually, I have none of this on. Just basic shapes, filter, effects, the hyperdimension on, filter, distortion, compressor, EQ, this. The thing with me is, how are you getting it? I'm getting it right here on the rate. I'm just messing with it right here. I have it on 1/4, so I can mess with it. Just right there. I just felt like right there it sounded really good for me. And yeah, I mean, the thing with me when I do Serum is I don't even know what I'm doing. I tend to not use Serum as much. Only like every now and then for songs, but I mainly work off audio. I feel like it's just way better for me. But like I said, either whether I'm using samples or Serum, I make sure I always change it up so it doesn't sound the same. I think that's a very important thing. I think that's a very important thing when doing making music. If you're going to use like presets and samples, like it's okay, but just make it sound different so it doesn't sound the same, but yeah, that's what I got going on for this. I just messed around with it. I don't even really know how to use Serum. I was just messing with the knobs and see what sounded right, honestly. I feel like a lot of people think you need to be like an expert with Serum and and all these other plugins and shit, but I feel like it's just the simple stuff, that just hits, and you don't need any crazy techniques or anything to make stuff. Just have fun with it and just mess around. Especially if you're new with Ableton, just mess around with it, have fun. Who cares if you like mess up? Like you're not gonna break the program. Worst case, you can just go back and undo. What about the drop inspired about the spooky vibe of your intro, would you say? The girl screaming, the just a little the little whoop stuff, and the vocals I have in the back with the girl screaming, and the sword slashing. I feel like, okay, like my whole brand is about spooky Halloween shit, so I mean it kind of works easy for me with coming up with intros because that's kind of like my whole thing is Halloween stuff. So it's just like, okay, I just need to come up with maybe like a heavy drop, whatever, and add some little horror effects in there, and I can make a cool intro with that. Man, the basic shit, just it. Yeah, just that simple shit. Honestly, you don't need nothing crazy. Chick-fil-A right here, it's good. Yeah, let's move on. What else? Alright, right here, this Tasosky thing, sound. I didn't want to mess around with this one. I left it the same as it was because I felt like it just sounded good already. I didn't want to mess with it. You know, if it just sounds good already, just leave it. But you do, like I said, you don't want to have too many samples that are, you know, all sounding the same as a sample pack, you know. But this virtual riot thing, this is from a sample pack of his. I can play the whole thing. Yeah, so I felt like that was like a cool little fill to use, for you know, to use on the drop. I was like, oh, I guess sounds kind of cool as it is already, so I thought I would just use it. Yeah, I just took off the low end, and I have a grain delay. This is the grain delay off. Sounds a little darker, and then with the grain delay on, kind of brings it up. Pitchiness, I don't know. It just sounds different. You know, it sounds kind of cool. You know. Then I have this going on. The sound very distorted bass. You know. Cut off the low end on that. You know, got the Valhalla on here. Kind of the same as how I had it on the other one that I showed you, but just brought up the mix on it just a bit, and the compressor. And this one is actually from this Serum sound. Yeah, sounds like it. This one is. What's one thing you wish I knew a lot as a producer? One thing I wish I knew before I started was that you don't need all these crazy techniques and to be, you know, like a wizard in Serum to make dope music. Just have fun with it, you know. If it sounds good, it sounds good, and don't overthink it, you know. If you like it, it's all that matters. You don't need to worry about what other people like. You know, it's just you're making music for you, you know. That's how I feel like it should be. But this one is this is a cool little sound. Basic shapes, same thing again. FX, you know. Let's see right here: distortion, filter, hyperdimension, the compressor, EQ, patch. I mean the matrix. It's LFO, messing around here. Yeah. Nothing crazy, honestly, guys. White noise, you know. Without it. The white noise really does it. This sound, I got inspired from that Ghastly song. I think the song Scares People or something. Got inspired from that, and yeah, and then I came up with this. Let's see. Okay, so you know the Sasaki thing again, and then we have oh no, the sub is off on this sound because I recorded it and I used it as audio instead of using Serum, and so the bass was on it, but I just ended up taking it off with the EQ right here. Yeah, so the Sasaki thing right here again right after it, and then another like a signature sound that I always use in all my songs is this one right here. Put that one in there. I don't have the processing because I forgot when I did it. I just kind of just exported it and just use it for every song. Or at least I tried to. You know, it's kind of like one signature sound. But yeah, just cut off the EQ right there. Cut off the low end. You know, the vocal right here. 50 Cent shit again. Going back to there, to this sound. still keeping the same movement and stuff. In the same little fill, little drop fill. The metallic bass right here with the one shot at the beginning. Alright, oh, so that new sound just came in. Let me go over that one with you real quick. So this one right here. It's from Serum, you know, EQ, cutting off some of the highs right here, cutting off the low. You know, saturator, OTT, the distro thing again, and just compressor, just going to the kick. I know a lot of people use a lot of different plugins to sidechain, but I just, for some reason, I like to use just the Ableton compressor, you know, just a sidechain. I don't know, everyone has their own preference. Mine is the Ableton stock. You know, you don't need any crazy shit, I feel like. Do you have a spin path for signature grass? I don't. Actually, I wish I did. Maybe if I do, it's just like somewhere hidden in like some random project file. It would take me forever to find it, honestly. I wish I had it though. So yeah, back to this one. Yeah, let me show the distro one again. Actually, the other one I had it on, I had more stuff turned off on it. But this one, if I can see, I have more things turned on. So, OTT, I have the multi-band off, wave shaper, drive. There's just like so much shit on here. Another multi-band, wave shaper, a drive. This thing I don't even have. Oh, a sausage founder. I don't even have it. I thought I did, but yeah. And compressor. Yeah, that's kind of the distro. There's a bunch of shit on it. But yeah, like I said, I tend to turn things off and whatnot, see what goes with it. So we got that playing. Got a little cool little melody going on. Some cool house. I tend to use it a lot on my basses, OTT. Yeah, I feel like everyone does. You know, OTT is the shit, you know. But you don't want to, like, sometimes you could overdo it, though. You just want to, like, be moderate and be careful, you know? Just be careful. But yeah, here's, this is a preset. I'm not sure. I think I messed around with it. Neo made it, I guess. I don't even know where I found this. Let's see what we have going on here. This thing they have, I don't know, this is all them. The noise. Let's see how it sounds like. Wow, this one really makes it, this oscillator right here. Wow. Kind of makes the whole sound. Without it, with it, let's see with the B. Kind of sharpens it up a bit. I can see that, yeah. Filter. Yeah, see what we got on the effects. Yeah. We got this. This stuff. You know, just not really sure if I messed around with this one as much, but yeah. And then under it, because without it, it sounded a little weird. Right, at least right here, because just the first two notes, right there, sounded dope by itself. But when it gets right here, it just sounded like, I felt like, oh, it sounds a little too empty. Oh, sorry guys, let me move it over. Sorry about that. Here, I'll share it with you again so you can, if you want to copy it or something. Right there. Blah, blah, So right here, when it got to right here, it felt like so empty, like it was just missing something. So I was going around to some sounds again, and I was like, okay. Usually what I do is I just copy and paste the notes that I have, bring it into a new MIDI, OpenSerum or whatever fucking VST, and go through sounds, just going through sounds, and I felt like this one really worked with it. Got an EQ, grain delay, saturator, OTT, compressor, kind of have the same stuff for each drop, but in a different way, I guess. So yeah, this is without the grain delay. I didn't like how that sounded, and plus, like I said, I always try to make sure I change the sound just a little bit, especially in Serum 2. But let me open that up. With my computer, we'll load. Okay. The classic Yoi. This is from Neomate, I guess. Also. I'll play it together. This is the sounds together. Is it? You see how it just makes it, like, just so, that little sound that you think that kind of, when I heard it, I was like, I don't know if this sound would work. It kind of sounds like, not, it didn't sound that, like, didn't really catch my attention as much, but when I played it back together with the other sound, it was kind of just golden. It worked perfectly. Yeah, something perfect. But here's the Serum patch. Noise right here. Some macro things that we got going on. Basic shape, filter. Effects. This stuff over here. Nah, nothing, nothing crazy, honestly. Someone said, do you offer or consider doing any private tutoring? I get messages like this a lot. I haven't yet. This is kind of like the first time I've ever shown anyone what I do with my music, and I don't know. Most of the time I don't even know what I'm doing, so I feel like if I do lessons, like, I don't want to waste people's time or something. But I mean, if you guys find it interesting what I'm doing now, then I mean, I'm open to it. I just feel like I'm just like you guys, I'm just learning too, as I go. I feel like I still need a lot to learn, I feel like there's certain things that I could get better at, mixing better, mastering better. I'll show you my master chain in a bit, but yeah, I feel like my sound design could be better, I mean, I feel like we all have time to improve, especially with music. You can never not learn, but I mean, if you guys are open to it, I mean, I'd be down. Can you touch on the points of spacing your drops? You use it really well. I'm allowed bass boost to show me finding that balance. Yeah, that's perfect, actually. That's a good thing to say. Yeah, so basically, you don't want to add too much. Less is more. You know how people say that shit? Less, like, just less is more. You don't need, 7 different sounds going on throughout the whole, or 10 sounds going all at once, What I remember is someone told me that, the human brain could only, hear, fourth parts of the song at once when things are going on. Like they'll hear the kick, they'll hear the snare, obviously, they'll hear the sounds and the bass, like maybe some FX. But if you add, the more you add to a song, it just doesn't sound right, and you're gonna have the listener thinking like there's too much shit going on. Like how can I enjoy the song? There's just like so much going on. So I feel like you need to have that space, just like if it sounds right, even if you think it's a little, like if it's not a lot, trust me, you'll be surprised. Just less is more. You just want to have the right spacing, like see right here, fucking, I don't know. Just gotta be careful. I mean, just remember, less is more. You don't need thousands of things going on at once. Like I barely have much percussion going on. Like even right here, like for most of for this whole section of this drop right here, I have no percussion going on. Maybe right here I have a little bit, just the yellow. And then again right here, this is where I have a lot of, just two things going on with percussion, So you don't need to go and add a lot of things to try and fill up the song, or fill up the spectrum of the song. So like, if you try and do that, you're going to add way too much and your mix is going to get muddy. And yeah, but yeah, so... Same thing, blah blah. So all the sounds going on are pretty much the ones I already went over, except for this one. This is from Serum again. I have a EQ, grain delay, saturator, OTT, distro, see what I have going on here. Pretty much the same shit as all the other ones. Compressor. So without the grain delay, this is how it sounds. You can tell a difference with the grain delay. I like to use it for a lot of stuff. Some people will say, like it kind of messes up, or like it doesn't sound right or something, but I don't give a shit. If I think it sounds right, I'm gonna just go with it. I don't care. I don't care if it's messing with certain things or whatever, but if I like it and it sounds right, I'm gonna just stick with it. So I know that not that many people use grain delay, but I think it works perfectly. But I'll show you the Serum patch. My computer's been a little slow. Too much shit going on. Sorry.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
This is from a Tasowski pack. Let's see if I play it. So this is without the grain delay. Just whatever he did, left it as is, I think. You just put the grain delay on it. Without it, with it. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, a lot of people should think about also is transitioning from when you go from a drop to a break, or to a break to a build up. I feel like you always want to have your transitions on point. Make sure it just goes right. So right here, I thought maybe if I added some kicks, building up, it would add some more suspense, So, boom, 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 boom. You know, you get the thing, get it. How do you? Yes, I will show this up. I'm just going down by kick, snare, drums, percussion. I'm just going by order how I have it, but we'll definitely get to that. Let's see. How do you deal with writer's block? I actually have writer's block right now. Well, how I deal with it is I just don't touch Ableton. I just leave it as is. It's really weird for me. I'll work on a song, and I'll finish a song maybe like in a week or a couple days, depending, whatever. And after I finish it, I have writer's block. It's really weird. Well, at least that's how it's been for me since this quarantine, like middle of quarantine. It's been like that for me. Where I'll make a song and then get writer's block for like a week or two after. How it helps me is I just don't force it. I don't force anything. I just kind of just go with the flow, and so whenever I feel like I'm inspired and I'm ready, I'll give it a shot. If I still can't come up with anything, after a few hours, I'll just stop and do something else to get my mind off it. And like keep myself busy with doing other activities besides like working on music. Yeah, maybe even like trying to produce a different genre or something. I feel like that was always have to force things. Do you have any tips for young producers when it comes to getting into the scene? Just work hard and make sure you find your sound. I think a sound is a very good thing to have when you're making music. You definitely don't want to make sure you sound like someone else or everyone else. You want to make sure you sound like yourself, and make sure when people listen to your song, they can be like, oh, okay, this is so and so. I can tell. I feel like that's really important when starting to make music, is trying to find your sound. But also, if you're barely starting off, just have fun with it. Just make music. Eventually you'll find your sound. But keep that in mind. Since this is for like the sounds I have on the breakdown. Oh, I don't think I went over the drums, did I? Like the build-up stuff. I just have. Sorry, I'm everywhere, guys. My bad. For the intro, I just have these little heartbeat thingies. These little tricks. I don't know. What else? Some weird FX going on for the build. Just some snare build that I did. A random snare. I don't know. Cashmere marching drum thingy. Yeah, it's kind of what I got for the build. I don't think I went over that last time. You got an intruder, your dog has been... No, he barks at the TV. Sorry, guys. Whenever the TV, there's like a dog or something on, he likes to bark. I don't know why, but no. Since we got this, I think I got from a Cascade song. I really like the sound of the rain from this certain thing, because I looked up like rain effects and I tried them. It didn't really fit as well as it did with this song, so I kind of just faded it. I don't know, just use that. Um, got the piano playing the spooky little melody. This little pad thingy. Any particular horror films that inspired this vibe you have in your music? Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's where I kind of got the vibe off this melody. So Nightmare on Elm Street really inspired this song. Halloween, Friday the 13th, Exorcist, the Exorcism, just all the fucking, horror movies out there. Scream, just like a bunch of shit. I always try and listen to the background music that they have. I try and look for it and just listen to it and get inspired for what kind of spookiness I should go for. But yeah, so it's a spooky little pad going on right there. What's this? It's a little atmosphere thing, pitch down, -8. I think it's from a Cashmere pad, I believe. I just pitched it down. Nice, and I said the piano. I had another sound over this, which was Contact, but for some reason Contact hasn't been working on my new laptop, so can't really show it. But it was just like a little spooky pad that went over the piano, playing the same melody. You could hear it on SoundCloud or Spotify, whatever. You'll hear what I'm talking about. But it was just some preset from Contact. Honestly, I was just going through the library and trying to find anything that was more fitting to what I was going for. Then I have this danger alarm thing going on. Got the delay on it. This I think I got from YouTube. Just put like alarm sound on YouTube, like effects. Got that, Let's see what else. What's playing over here is pretty much the same thing on this side. Pretty much the same shit, honestly, that's going on. But so after this section, we have a little pause. Then just a little suspense thing. So many people are like, oh, what's gonna happen next? And it slowly goes into the build up. Yeah, so we got this Jordy Daz Orchestra Symphony Suite. Yeah, nothing crazy. We have this thing over here towards the intro. This is playing. Got that. I pitch it up through semitones. I'm gonna bring it down. This is the original. Going back. I pitched it up because I felt like it was a little off key, so I get it in the right key. I had to ear it out, just hear it, see what it sounds. It sounded right, and it didn't. The next thing right here, it's another sweep. This one was just pitched down once. Nothing crazy. What else? We got this. Another sweep. I really like this one. I think I use it a lot in my songs. Transposed once. Semitone, What else? This little background stuff. just little background FX, just to fill up the whole spectrum of the song, especially for the break. You don't want to use too much on the drop, background stuff, but for the breakdown, I feel like you definitely need to fill it up and have things going on. Just the little things matter, just like this little stuff. These little FX stuff go a long way. They go a long way. Like you want to make sure you can hear it, but not hear it too much. I have it negative 11, decibels. Negative 11, so you want to be able to hear it, but not so much. You get me? Same here, all my shit I make is inspired from horror. It's that track we've talked. Oh yeah, hey, what's up, dude? That name just sounds familiar. We have decided who label signings are always impressive. Any tips for producers on getting the attention of and networking with such labels? I feel like if you want to get attention from labels and just getting heard with big artists too, is whatever genre you're making and whatever label you want to be on. I feel like you should. I know I said not to make music for other people, for yourself, so definitely stick to that. But if you're going to label a certain genre that you already have in mind, you want to make sure that it fits that label. Like you don't want to send a heavy bass tune to Wakam, that would fit on Never Say Die. You kind of want to stick to the labels that fit right with your music. And whatever artists are on there, you want to make sure that it fits with your music, that it's all on the same vibe. You don't want to send something out of ordinary that they don't usually sign. I mean, sometimes they'll pick it up, but it's rare. Most of the time they're going to stick to what they already have, and just send out your music, I feel like you should just take the chance and just be like, fuck it. If you want to send something to an artist, just send it or to a label. What's the worst they're going to do? Not reply, maybe say no. Okay, that's it. They're not gonna hate you for sending a song. I feel like you should just go and just do it. That's what I've done. And it works. Just gotta send it. A lot of stuff that I've gotten, my way was because, like with my career is I just wasn't scared. I just sent it. I wasn't nervous, and maybe the first couple times it's like, damn, I don't want to hit at this guy and just send him my music. Obviously want to build that relationship a little bit, but also, if you have a song that you think that they like or something, just send it to them. The worst, like I said, the worst they're gonna do is either not reply, or just, that's it. I feel like you should just go and just take that chance because you never know. Yeah. This is from I use this bass a lot for my intros and breakdowns for all my horror music stuff. This is from a sample pack. I don't even know from which one, but I don't know, Synth Loop Escape Kit. I don't know. It's just I found it. I like to just find cool little sample packs that anyone has not heard of, and I think that's a cool way to be able to use samples without messing with them and making them sound a little different. Is just finding samples from random ass sample packs that no one's ever heard of. So, yeah. What I have on the synths going on, as you can see, I don't really have much processing on these synths besides the piano and the contact. Can't really show you because it doesn't matter. It's not even working. But I don't really have that much stuff going on besides the chains. Like the stuff I have going on is just right here and all grouped up. which is a saturator, compressor, OTT, EQ, bringing up some of the mid, cutting off the low, taking off a little bit of the high, mid highs, and side chaining. I know I side chain really weird, but I don't know. I think it just sounds right to me. Maybe I might do it differently sometime soon. But so side chain to my kick. I thought I had some stuff going on in the kick on the sounds. Oh, actually, I don't. So I don't know why I have that on. I don't need it because that's playing for the drop kick. But drums. So it's side chaining. My ghost kick that I have going on, and the build up stuff right here, like side chaining right there. And let's see. Yeah. Here we go with the sub. Where's the probably shit. Okay, with the sub, because I gotta get on to the other song next. So this is a sub massive that I made. Nothing crazy, honestly, as you can see. Just at the one oscillator, filter. Not really any effects going on. Something simple, I got the saturator on it, 2 saturators, a soft sine, medium curve, cutting off the high in the sub, leaving the low end, and the SSLEQ. I think this is a wave plugin, I'm not sure. I think it is, yeah, because the wave sign, this logo's right there. I don't really know how to describe what this does, but basically it makes sure that the kick and the sub, that the sub and the kick aren't interfering with each other. So whenever the kick hits, the sub is always making sure that it does not interfere with the kick. Kind of almost like side chaining in a way, but I don't know how to explain it. It's very different. I don't know, but it works. That's off. That's off. You can hear slight difference. Yeah, sub pitching up on the build. The sub going down. You saw the bounce. Okay, I'll show the FX real quick. FX got a saturator on it, compressor, EQ, side chaining. Nothing crazy. This is all just stuff from sample packs. You don't need to make your own FX. Come on, guys. You don't need that. It's just FX. Honestly, who cares? No, nothing crazy. Sweeps going up right here throughout the drop. Nothing crazy. And, yeah, then I got some FX stuff with a lot of low end on it. More spooky stuff. Kind of playing throughout the whole song. So, yeah. Master, I have a mono, utility. I have a -1 in the intro and build. And then I have it off on the drop. Just to make more impact, I feel like. You don't always really do it, but sometimes I do it. Bit warmer, EQ8, enhancer, multi-bang, EQ, glue compressor. Nothing crazy. Simple. Ableton stock shit, literally. Like I said, you don't need anything crazy to make good music, A lot of people like using stock in plugins. You'll be surprised. Just just waiting on my computer. We can get to the next song. No, the sub is sidechaining. I just forgot to show that part. Sorry, it is sidechaining. It's in the group. In the group, it's sidechaining. I have a sidechain compression on it, so it is. All right. So this next one is a unreleased song that's coming out soon, early next year, I believe. Yes. So this is an unreleased one. I'll play it. More work shit. That then just goes to the break. And second drop's a little different. Second drop is my favorite. I actually might put the second drop as the first drop. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so then the outro's right there. Also another thing is, I forgot to mention last time, but when you're making a song, I think it's always good to group stuff and have your shit organized, your project file. Because I feel like if you have it messy, it's just hard to find things. It can get really annoying, you know. There's just things everywhere, you know. I feel like you want to make sure everything's organized when you make your music and all that. Did I have people? I had producer friends that would help me out. You know, I have a group of friends. They always sense each other. You know, get ideas and stuff, things we can change, work on, you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, kind of just self-taught. You know, just kind of just go with the flow and just enjoy it. What other artists inspire you and that you listen to outside EDM? Other artists that inspire me. I mean, anything, anyone can inspire me if I like the song, if I like your music, you know. They don't have to be, they don't have to have 1 million followers, thousands of followers, you know. Sometimes even the people with like a couple hundred followers on SoundCloud that post a song that sounds great, I get inspired from, you know. So I listen to a lot of SoundCloud, and I'll go through my SoundCloud stuff and, you know, and find songs and just get inspired that way. Outside of EDM, I like to listen to, you know, like hip hop, you know, like indie music. You know, there's a lot of, those are the main other two genres I listen to besides EDM stuff. I feel like all that stuff. You know, it's always good just to listen to other things and get inspired from what they do with certain parts of the songs. You know, just if you want to hear something different, tired of hearing the same song over and over, especially when you're making music, it gets tiring after hearing the same thing for hours and on loop. So it's always good to switch things up. What are some of your favorite synth-type teams you find yourself gravitating toward as you Inspire loaded up? How is it? Just bought some experience. Yeah, I'll actually get into that right now, Inspire. Let me get into it. You know, basic shit, kick, snares. I'll run through everything quick. Trappy snare. It's trappy clap. Nothing crazy. Got EQ going on, snare EQ. On this one, you see about this one, same thing with this one. Percussion. Got this Ikali stuff, Ikali hi-hat from the sample pack, I don't know. Another hi-hat, that going on. Some cool little loop that I messed around with. Cashmere percussion loop. Nothing crazy, guys. You know, simple shit. A gyro percussion thing for the intro. For the break. Same thing right there. You know, throughout the whole song. You know, nothing crazy, guys. You don't need to copy. You don't need to make your own percussions. It'd be cool to, but who cares? Just fucking have fun. Vocal shit. Outro got some pitch that -12. Vocal shit right here. It's a compressor going on it for the percussion. Sorry, I forgot to show it. On the group I have an EQ effect rack for my drums, which is a compressor again. Saturator, side chaining, nothing crazy. All the stuff that's already in there, the samples, they're all already mixed down, so you don't need to do anything crazy to them. Vocal stuff right here. It's the Valhalla.
Give them something nice.
You know, nothing crazy. What's this? Little vocal fills. You know, blah blah blah. You know, drops. We got this playing. We got the heavy guitar tube. You know, I like to use that shit a lot. Without it, one of the sounds. This is one of the sounds I always use a lot, but. This fucking plugin, man, the heavy guitar tube is really cool. You know, simple shit. And I got this plug. Compressor, OTT, EQ, Valhalla, side chaining. Got that over that. This little one-shot thingy right here. I think it's my sample. EQ, side chaining. This This is from my sample pack too, guys. If you haven't, it's on Bandcamp. A lot of these sounds that I use in drums, that I mess around with myself, are on the sample pack that you can get on my Bandcamp. You know, if you want to go fucking create some shit, you know, go out and go get it. I think it's like $15 right now. There's like a sale, usually $25, but it's on sale for $15. If you want to catch that, go get it. What is it using? It's a good question. It's the heavy guitar tube is just using reverb decay. I don't know, this is just from a stock Ableton thing. Oh, here it is. Got a bunch of EQ, threes, compressor, saturators, EQ, delay, reverb, all that. I don't think I really messed with that. I think I just messed with the stuff around right here. And that was it. I didn't really do anything much. Kind of just Ableton stock shit for me. And yeah, for the second drop, I used the pluck sound I have on the first drop. Got a different melody. And
make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
And did this. Playing the same thing on here, but just using a serum. I'm using the same sound as this one, but just playing a different. I just pitch it up. Pitched up a bit. See, brought it up a bit. Now it sounds like totally different. Yep, that. Then I got this one going on. Got this EQ, Moonboy, Bass Essential. I'm not really doing anything besides using the wobble rate for just to get that little, fucking pattern. Just using it just for that. Got the distro on there, Valhalla, the reverb, and the sidechain. And yeah, let me show you the serum for this one. Let's see where it's from. I'm not sure. This is a patch that I messed around with and made it into my own patch. Basic shapes. Got the harmonic up. Got the rate going on. Effects. Nothing crazy. All that shit right there. Filter. Kind of sounds cool like that, honestly. I just have to bring it up more in the mix, but yeah. The pluck is from. I can't remember where this pluck is from. It's a good question. I have no clue. But yeah, that's basically the drop for this song. Since some spooky effects, pitch it up 5 semitones. Yeah, this thing from the sample pack. On the group, I got a saturator, compressor, OTT, EQ, bringing up some of the mids and highs, and then side chaining. You know, this little drum effects loop. I don't know what the hell. You can kind of hear it in the drop. It's supposed to be subtle. Alright, so Spire, I know someone mentioned about this. I have the clips going on. I used to use Spire a lot, but I haven't really used it that much anymore. But I like using it for a specific sound, which is one of the plugs that I tend to use for intros. It's this one right here. It's actually on the Whistle remix I did for 4D. You know, EQ, got some shit going on right there. Saturator, compressor, OTT. Then we got the distro thing going on again. Utility, side chaining. Yeah. This is the. I don't think I touched anything from Spire. I kind of just left it as it was. I think, or maybe I might have messed around with it a bit. I can't really remember, but yeah. And then I have this one. Sorry. There it is. This one from Spire 2. Nothing crazy. You know, distro. I got this off. Filter, Valhalla, you know, together. Kind of fills it up, makes it sound pretty cool. So the bass, it's just a thing I made in Silent. Saturators going on. We got the Moonbase Essential thing just to play the wobble to go with the whole drop and stuff. Yeah, same thing for this one. I am side chaining for this break, for this sub I'm using. One second, waiting for it to load. Oh no, I lost it. Just a sample, a preset. Nothing crazy. What percentage of songs you finish and release that you start, would you say? I would say about 50, not like 70%. With me, I like to finish everything that I start. I would say, so, yeah, about like 60-70%. About like 60% of songs I finish. The other rest, just, I don't touch. Yeah, you know, I like to finish most of the songs that I start. Let's see, FX, just a compressor, nothing going on. You know, and yeah, EQ. You know, these are all from like some sample packs. Same thing with this, just the impact. Master, utility, boot compression, bit warmer, enhancer, boot compressor, utility, and that's it. just simple stuff. Everything that I mainly use, VSTs and all, is just like mainly all stock Ableton stuff. Nothing crazy, honestly. Other stuff that I use like Serum, Spire sometimes, Siren, Massive. Yeah, it's kind of really it. Everything is really just Ableton stock shit. And yeah, it's kind of just how I make music. Nothing crazy. How many hours does it take? Hours, I would say, I don't know, a long time, because it's really rare that I finish a song in a day. Maybe I can get an idea down, maybe finish like the first drop, but to finish the rest of the song, it might take me a couple days. So yeah, I tend not to like overwork myself. Like once I kind of start getting over the song, like I'm just over it. I'm tired of hearing the same thing. I kind of just take a break for a couple hours and get back to it, and maybe just start again the next day. And yeah. If you had to answer the question, how do you keep it so simple? So you can just overcomplicate everything, etc. I don't know. I think I just learned over time when after making music for a while. I just learned that less is better. You don't need so much stuff and to overcomplicate things and to be a master. Try to be a master at Serum. I learned that after a while, because before I was like that. Before I was adding way too much to my songs, and the mixdown just wasn't right. The more you add, the more it's gonna get, more things are gonna get muddy. You're gonna have to EQ stuff. You're gonna have to lower things down, and then if you can't hear it in the song, then you don't need it. Like if it doesn't make a big difference in the song, and you can like use it without it, I don't think you need it. I just learned that over time. And I didn't have anyone to tell me that. I kind of just learned it and heard other songs and kind of see what they were doing and, watch some tutorials and, yeah, that's kind of the whole thing of it, Then you just get shit like this. I was actually good shit. I would say that if you want to reach out to someone for a collab, maybe send it to them. Just send it to them and see if they like it. Stuff like that. Maybe don't try and like push yourself onto them to force a collab. I don't think you should ever try and force things. Just have it all come naturally. That's how I always think it should go. Just naturally, build that relationship with the artist, and when you feel like things are right, and just ask them, But I would say maybe build that relationship a little bit, and yeah, and just ask them, But it's always good to build that relationship, because you don't want to just ask an artist, hey, let's collab, and like they don't even know you, or like I think with most collabs, like they happen when you're cool with someone, you're like homies or some shit, You don't have to be best friends or anything, but just be homies and shit, Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to get my sample pack on Bandcamp. If you have a bunch of stuff like this on there, that could help. Got a song coming out next week, and another song the week after, and yeah, a lot of music coming, and yep. Thanks for going through these plays with those that Sacramento. Oh yeah, last year during October, that was fun. Definitely would love to be back out again when things are back to normal. Last tough question. Alright, shoot it. Ah, that one got me. So, any other questions? No? Oh. Oh, dude, How do you personally go about building a relationship with the artist? I would say start sending them your music, you know, and if they like it, keep sending them more, you know, and then little by little just start talking to them, like a normal person, you know. I think like that always works. That's kind of just like one of the main ways how to do it. It's just like that. Thanks. I'm glad this was helpful because like I said, this is my first time doing this type of stuff, so I'm glad I could help. You know, I wasn't sure if I was gonna help, but I'm glad I did. You know, because I'm just the same like you guys. I'm just still trying to learn, get myself out there, and just learning as I go. You know, most of the time I don't even know what I'm doing. I make music. Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, guys. It's 8:30. Thank you for joining. Thanks for having me. Hopefully we can do this again soon. And yeah, hope you guys stay safe and we'll get back out there soon. Hold on, we have one more question actually. How many years have you been producing and gaining knowledge to get more professional point in music? I've been producing music since I was like maybe 16, 17. And I'm 25 now, so good amount of years. The knowledge I have now is just by learning, learning, hanging around other producers, managers, people in the industry, just being around, just hanging out with people and networking and growing. That's kind of how I learned. Obviously, I wish I had someone to teach me this stuff when I was younger, because I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of still don't either, but I have more knowledge now, and it's helped me to get where I am. So it takes time, but you'll get there. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and hope you guys stay safe. Yeah. Peace.